Hello, and welcome to the year 2024. Happy New Year. I hope you've noticed my significant change in my look because I can't be within a certain distance of schools and playgrounds now with this change. Welcome. Anyway, let's move on. Okay, another barrel aged beer, another okay beer, in my opinion. I've had it before. I didn't love it. Gonna have it again tonight. Live. Well, live during this video. So you'll get my live reaction, but this is a recorded video. This is another Bourbon County. This is a Proprietor. And this is from the year 2022. So I had this one, didn't really care for it. So we'll see if that changed. This is Bourbon County, 2022. My hands are so steady. Stout aged in bourbon barrels with toasted coconut, bananas, lime juice, pineapple juice, and natural flavor. That description already just doesn't do anything for me. And like I said, this one was a pretty polarizing one from last year. People either didn't like it at all, or they kind of liked it. But I don't think I had anyone that said they loved it, or at least anyone that I know. But a lot of people that I know also enjoy good beer. Based on my memory, don't remember being a good beer. So, fuck it, we're gonna try it. Glug 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 glug. I gotta work on pouring on camera. So this one is only a year old. Still obviously got some nice fizz up in that motherfucker. Yeah, just the smell from the get-go is just not doing it for me. I got a bunch of pineapple and banana kind of off the rip. Also got a little bit of a cold. I'm mostly over it, still a little stopped up, but my tasters and smellers are fine. And I ain't got none of that vid. Nose, like I said, it smells a little flat, a little thin, but I get a lot of bananas, a lot of pineapple, which is kind of surprising and kind of not welcoming in a barrel-aged stout. Whatever. And yeah, just not good. There's no getting around it, no beating around the bush. It's just not good. It tastes like fucking pineapple juice. Kind of wish I had chosen something else. But hey, sometimes you got to do things that aren't good too to review them. Goose Island Proprietor 2022. This is 13.4% ABV. This is, and now I get it. They were going for a theme. I think it was like a, cocktail, like a Mai Tai or something like that. I can't remember the exacts. But they were going for like a cocktail theme, which was kind of a little bit of a trend in craft beer for like probably literally a year. Because I know a couple places did one. There was one that was like a big orangey, juicy something. I don't think it was a barrel aged stout though, so that's why it's kind of a little more surprising. But yeah, I mean off the first sip and off my memory from last year, not for me. If you're into a little bit more fruity, I mean this is Pineapple City. You know, it tastes like straight up pineapple juice. I mean, it's just literally pineapple juice. I mean, it obviously has. It does. I will give it this. The mouthfeel is nice. It actually feels thicker than most Bourbon County I've had recently. It has a good mouthfeel. I'll give it that. So I don't know if all the fruited stuff up in there kind of helped out the viscosity of it, because that is one thing I will give it credit for. Like the mouthfeel on this is probably the best I've had of a Bourbon County in the last probably 2 or 3 years, release wise. So that's one thing I kind of dismissed. But I will say this is great because most Bourbon County stouts to me nowadays, with everyone else kind of catching up or passing them, in my opinion, uh, they knock the mouthfeel out of the park, most of the other people. Whereas when I come back to Bourbon County, it usually tastes a little thin, a little flat. Um, that's just my personal preference, is when I'm drinking a barrel-aged beer, I want to know I'm drinking a barrel-aged beer, and I want it to have that thick, boozy, not quite milkshake, um, but the closer it is to that, I fucking love that. So that's a big plus for me. And I will say, excuse me, this does have a better mouthfeel than most of the Bourbon County I've had in the last 2 years or so. Um, I don't think that's too far-fetched. Off the top, I mean, thinking of even the ones I've reviewed so far on YouTube, like I said, this has got to be in the top end for mouthfeel and mouthfeel alone, and that's it. So I will give it credit for that, and that's probably probably kind of a whatever the word I'm looking for, product, a product of just all the extra fruit. You know, like if you guys have ever had any like kettle sours or any of those, like some of them are almost so thick that they can barely do them in tap lines because they fuck up the tap lines. And then even in canning them, they're kind of unstable because there's so much fucking fruit and stuff like fermenting and such. So I don't know the exacts of how this was brewed. Can't tell you that. I'm not smart enough. I don't do research. I'm just going straight into the tasting. But I will say it certainly helps out the mouthfeel. Yeah, for real. The mouthfeel is pretty good. I got a little bit of coconut. A little more coconut on that. Um, there's like a hint of lime. The lime's not very apparent. Um, this is as standard. It is chilled, not cold. It is not warm. I'm sure it'll change a little bit as it warms up. I'm still not going to like it. I don't hate it. This is one that, like, if someone brought to a share, I would maybe sit out. Or I would say, hey, you know what, I had it, let other people have it, like in a nice way to say that I don't want it. Um, it's just not for me, man. If you're into pineapple, if you like mixed drink, like Mai Tai, that sort of thing, you might enjoy it. Um, it does have a decent finish. I'll give it that too. So I'll give it mouthfeel and finish are a plus. But the flavor itself, the palate, the whole thing of it is just not for me. I've made it clear before, I'm a purist when it comes to a barrel-aged beer. I want coconut, I want coffee, I want chocolate, I want vanilla. That's really about it. Any fruit flavors, outside of like a dark fruit that comes from the whiskey or the barrel, or like kind of an unintentional combo from the other things, is okay. But just like fruit added to a barrel-aged stout doesn't do it for me, you know. And that's why, like I said, I kind of went into this with an open mind, thinking, hey, you know what? I'm going to give this one another shot, because last year I kind of shut it down. I think I had it at Fobab last year, decided I hated it, and I was like, yeah, I'm just not even opening my bottle. Like, I'm just going to keep it. So it's a year later. I will say having it now is better than I remember it when I had it last year. But it's still not something I would go out of my way to get. I would not buy another one. I would not trade for one. If I have another one, I will probably either trade it away or give it to somebody who maybe is interested. But this is, it's not my favorite. Like I said, mouthfeel, I will give it, I don't know, out of 10. Or hold on, what have I been doing? Fives? I think I've been doing 10s. Yeah, I've been doing 10s. Mouth feels like an 8. Mouth feels even like, I'll give the mouthfeel 8.6. This is a great mouthfeel. Very thick. I didn't even give you guys really a good look at it. But it's very thick, you know, and consistent. I would have thought with the juicy kind of stuff it would be a little more thin, but it's actually the opposite. And like I said, if they added like real fruit in there, that sort of thing, then it can definitely thicken it up a little bit, like a smoothie. So mouthfeel, I would say, like I said, 8.6 out of 10. In terms of the bottle itself, the more I sip it, the more I do actually enjoy it a little more than the initial couple sips. So let me give it one last sip out of the other side of my mouth. The pineapple has certainly calmed down the more sips I've taken. But once again, I just got to kind of revert back to my initial. Pineapple in a stout doesn't do it for me. Neither does lime. Banana, maybe in certain circumstances or certain things. But in this one, not my favorite. I am getting a little bit more of the toasted coconut. I can taste that a little bit more on the back end, which is usually expected as something warms up a little bit, because I've been trying to kind of keep it in my hands a little bit to keep it warmer too. One last sip and we give it a final rating. I will say initially I would have given it about a 6.0. I think because I've let it warm up, I have come around that it's not awful, but it's still not something I would want multiple of. I would say final answer on this bad boy, probably a 7.2. So it's actually better than I remember it, but it's still not something I would want to drink in the future. Like I said, at a future share, if someone had it, I would probably just sit out or say, hey, I've had it before. I mean, maybe if it was like another 2 years down the line. What does this one say? Develops in the bottle up to 2 years. And usually most Bourbon County says anywhere between 3 and 5 years. I'm thinking this one says 2 because of all the fruit that's added to it, because it could probably sour it or make it not nearly as good as it should be or as it was intended. But I will say the year that this has had to kind of mellow out a little bit seems to have helped it. I think I said 7.1, 7.2. Either way, 7.2, I'll say. It is better than I remember. It's just still pineapple. So much pineapple. But that mouthfeel really kind of brings the score up. If it were thin, like most Bourbon County is, in my opinion, then this would probably still be in the 6s. But I think the mouthfeel kind of really brings the score up a little bit. And like I said, you start to get a little bit of more of that toasted coconut as it warms up, which, you know, is usually expected and is good. So 7.2, final answer, Bourbon County, Goose Island, 2022. You can tell I'm not a surgeon because my hand is unsteady as a motherfucker. Happy New Year. Thanks for watching, guys. Don't forget to hit the like, subscribe, comment on what you want me to review next. Tell me how fucking hideous this is. The only reason it exists is because my wife is not home right now. Pretty much when she gets home, this will get the old ixnay on the mustache snay or something. All right? Thanks for watching. Have a good night. Happy New Year.